Hey y'all, this is Elle Think Madame. Y'all, the sun keep doing the most. Y'all, I'll be looking normal and then like I hate the way that this place is, the way the sun sets. It's just so weird. But anyway, this is AL Think Madame. I hope that y'all have been having a wonderful week and that you had a great day today. So let's go ahead and get into this good old review, recap, or whatever you want to call it. So the category is fashionable femme queens. So, you know, everybody came out, did what they was going to do, and the House of Veracity won. Now, I feel like a big part of why they won is because Elektra went back to their house after she left Blanca's house, and they was looking good now. They looked good, I ain't gonna lie. It was nice. I was like, okay. Y'all, anyway, Elektra, she actually just came, was just sitting there, looked like she just came and she supported. Now, I don't know if it was strategic on Candy and Lulu's part, which are the mothers of the House of Veracity, but she was sitting out. And we all know that Elektra gets a lot of praise. Everybody lives by her standards. Whatever she sets, whatever bar she sets, everybody is striving to get to that level. So I don't know if they were kind of doing that as punishment or just trying to see where her head really is at. But she sat it out. She didn't do nothing. They ended up winning. I don't know if she gave them pointers or what, but whatever. She, you know, did what she did. So anyway, she ended up being like, yeah, I'm working a late shift. I took a shift to somebody else or whatever. And so they're looking like, girl, you always working. What you doing? Trying to read her or whatever. And she looking at her like, girl, don't worry about what I'm doing. Like, you trying it. But anyway, so she went to this place that's like a BDSM type of situation. And I'm not sure if there are various types of women that work there or men as well that actually identify as men, but they are doing what they're doing to these customers, clients, or whatever you want to call them. But her specific client was waiting on her to get there, and he was like in a position where he was going to get whipped, and he had on some panties and he had on Elektra's heels. So she went off on him about having on her heels, and she made him stand up, and she was like, you can't even stand in my heels, y'all. It was just a lot. And old dude was doing some kind of like drugs or something, and she was like, I do not tolerate that type of behavior. I do not do drugs. She went all the way off about them drugs. And so he was like, he pulled out a big wad of money and was like, I'm trying to go all night. Are you trying to go all night or whatever? And so she was just looking like, okay, whatever. I don't know if she went with the flow as far as doing the drugs with him as well, or was like, well, if you're going to do what you do what you do over there, as long as I get my money at the end of the night. So she ended up getting her money, and it was a big wad of cash, y'all. It was a lot. So it seems like the people who've been coming to her are guys who are not secure enough in their sexuality to be like, I like these things as well. And I don't feel as though it necessarily has to come from somebody who is trans. Or if that is their fantasy, they are so shielded by what they've grown up to know as what it's supposed to be that they won't allow themselves to have the complete pleasure that they really do desire. So they just let them do whatever the BDSM type of stuff is, and there's just no sex tied to it. So yeah, I was like, okay, you do what you do, sir. So anyway, Blanca and Angel are having a conversation at the house, and as we all know, Blanca's style is not really much to discuss. So Angel was like, girl, we got to update your wardrobe and all this other stuff. And she basically was like, she got to boost whatever she can get. And usually what she can put on or whatever and get away with is not that glamorous. So she just get what she can get and hope that when she get home, she can fit stuff. But anyway, you know, she was telling her all the stuff they're going to have to get rid of. And I was just like, Lord have mercy, stop. She just got tired of her spirit. So then they were talking about, you know, she's actually looking for a storefront, because she is still very much serious about getting that nail salon up and going after that woman basically told her, if you leave, don't come back. And she tried to read her on the way out because Blanca, of course, was not born a woman. And she was like, nobody will hire you. Nobody wants to work with you. And if these people knew who you were, they wouldn't want you working on them. And I'm just like, girl, you tried it. So anyway, Blanca later on ended up meeting up at this storefront with this woman named Miss Norman. She is newly divorced. She ended up actually getting the building that Blanca was looking at from her husband in some sort of divorce settlement. It's not the greatest location, but it is very spacious, very much so spacious enough for her to do what she's trying to do. And she sees the vision. The woman was like, look, I need first and last month's rent. I want it to be cash if you got it. And, you know, we ain't signing no nothing. We ain't trying to have no paper trail. Basically, it was like, it is what it is. And then she actually was like, yeah, I'm newly divorced. I walked in on my husband getting pounded by the doorman and all this other stuff. Like, y'all, it's a lot. So she wasn't able to clock Blanca. So I was excited and happy for her for that, because some people really will try you. So yeah. But she's basically looking at the bigger picture, meaning Miss Norman. She wants gentrification to really, you know, be the moneymaker for her, because if she's in there making money like she's making, there are going to be all types of people wanting to come in there, and all the money that she's going to be getting in rent is going to be even more because of the property value that gentrification seems to bring. But anyway, I don't even want to get into that. That's a lot. So anyway, Ricky is back. That's the boyfriend of, is the boy's name Damon, y'all? I don't want to look anybody's name up, but the guy who dances classically, he's classically trained, and, you know, he was going to be in the Alvin Ailey, you know, dance academy stuff. Y'all, so the boyfriend Ricky is back. He's off tour. He went on tour for 6 months. And so, you know, there were like little hearts leading to their bedroom. And the boyfriend wanted to have sex with him. And they were about to have sex when Blanca came in and was like, we got to talk. Everybody got to meet up. So everybody met up. And she was just, she eventually said that somebody passed away. And when they went to the funeral, only 2 of the children went. And that was Angel and that guy who used to be off in the streets and, you know, run around stealing and fighting and all this other stuff. I don't know. Angel calls him Poppy, but I forgot what his name is. But anyway, they were the only 2 that showed up outside of Blanca. And when they were at the funeral, Praytel was there, of course. And nurse, was it Judy? She was there as well. So she pulled Blanca to the side and was like, you know, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, what's going on? Have you been taking the medicine I gave you? And so Blanca was like, you know, I still feel a way about it. And I don't know if I want to take it. Like, she's really, really scared that when she starts taking this medicine, the medicine is going to end up taking her out faster than just the disease, and trying to fight it without any type of medicine, because she kind of wants to do it holistically, but that might not, you know, work out too well for her, because she's already like detoxed her body. She's only like drinking water most of the time. She's eating right, like, you know, staying active. But, you know, everything has happened since last episode and she has full blown AIDS despite all of her efforts. So that's sad, but yeah. So later on, you know, once Blanca got to the house and the other kids finally showed up, she went off. And Angel was like, you know, that's mad disrespectful because y'all didn't show up. There was a young guy who passed away who, you know, was gay, and he had AIDS. And, you know, she was just like, you know, I've been trying to teach y'all right from wrong. And so they were like, well, we've been out. We were doing the things that you told us to do. And, you know, they went out and they went like to the pier or somewhere, and they started voguing, and people were surrounding them, and they felt as though people didn't see them as gay when they were voguing, and everything that people were seeing were positives. So they felt this high, but, you know, Blanca brought them back down to reality and was like, you know, you need to open your eyes up. Life is not a fairy tale. All the stuff that you want to live in, like, real life is going on around here. You know what I'm saying? You should have been at that funeral. So she was in her feelings about that. So anyway, meanwhile, at the house of Ferocity, Y'all, Electra's looking like, what is going on around here as far as the dinner is concerned? Because they served up a good old swig and a half of Slim Fast and a little bit of popcorn as the dinner. And so, you know, she was like, you know, y'all have a very lovely home, but you would think that the food would match the home decor. And so they were like, look, these are the house rules. We are all dieting right now. So you got to deal with it and, you know, just deal with that. And so it got to a point where, you know, she kind of seemed like she was like, I'll let it go, whatever, that's fine. So then she went on to, of course, her next, you know, agenda, which was she felt as though she does not have enough room for her things. And she was like, look, the closet is too small. I ain't got enough room for my stuff. Are there any other closets in this house? And so they were like, yeah, my closet is the biggest one, Candy. And she said that she was currently sharing it with Lulu, which is the second mother of the house. And she was just like, you know, the only way that we're going to let you be in there with our stuff, well, have your stuff in there, is if you let us use your stuff. Now, we know how you are about your stuff. So y'all know she's not finna do all that. So it got to a point where she got fed up and she was like, look, you've helped me to realize, yes, you were not like Blanca, because Candy set it off and was like, I'm not Blanca. You ain't gonna talk to me like I'm Blanca. I was like, Lord, you ain't gotta read. But anyway, she got fed up and she eventually left. And, you know, her and Candy got into an argument and they left. She left. I was like, Lord. So they ended up doing another category when they were doing ballroom, and it was like theater. So the House of Evangelista did Romeo and Juliet. They did a terrible job. I'm sorry, they just did. And it was the scene where they killed themselves, basically. And I was like, Lord. So then the House of Ferocity did Cinderella, and they did a great job. And so they were done, and Praytel was in the middle of saying what he was going to say, and then he had to set it off. He was like, who didn't pay the light bill around here? He had to set it off, and then, like, the light came on, like, a little spotlight came on, and in appears Electra. And what I didn't tell y'all was after she left the House of Ferocity, she went and was finding new people for a house that she was going to come up with. A brand new house, because as we know, she had a house before. And one of the first people she rolled up on was this white woman, and I was like, is she white, or she just looked like she's something, or she looked like she's white but she's not? Because if you're familiar with the ballroom scene, you normally do not see white people at all. No white people are usually allowed. Like, they even know that, no matter what they are, as far as a part of the LGBT and the rest of the letters in the alphabet community. So when she rolled up on her and was like, I want you to be a part of my house. And so she was like, I'm white. I'm not allowed in the ballroom scene. And so she was like, look, girl, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you're going to be up in there. So then she found these other people, and like everybody who she found, they are like amazing at voguing. So I was just like, ooh, girl, you're doing a lot in your life. And yeah. So she was like, look, I want to make an announcement. So it got to the point where before she can even say what she wanted to say, Blanca and Candy had their respective moments where they were like, look, this ain't fair. We in the middle of a category. She interrupting things. This is not fair. And all this. For her to be coming up in here trying to make a statement and all this. So anyway, she said all of what she had to say. She was like, well, considering all I've done for ballroom, don't you think I should be able to have a chance to say what I have to say? And so Praytel was like, he looked over at the judges or whatever, and he was like, no. I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, she ended up doing what she wanted to do anyway. And she announced who they were, and they are called the House of Wintour. And, you know, they gonna be some fierce voguers and such. And I was just like, Lord have mercy. Y'all, tell me why. I think before she announced who they were, her and Candy got into it so bad that Candy went and got a hammer, and Electra pulled out a knife, and they were fighting. they had to get security on them to separate them. Like Praytail had to set it off. It was like, get security in here to break this up. I was like, oh my gosh. Like they really were going at it. It was bad. So anyway, y'all, I just can't. So y'all, there was like a little moment and break, I guess you could say, when nothing was really going on. And Ricky's boyfriend was minding his business, and this dude was like, you know, can I get you a drink? And he was like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, are you sure? He was like, nah, I'm taken. I'm already spoken for, whatever. Man, come to find out, this dude, according to him, and I'm pretty sure it was true, he had been screwing Ricky while they was out on tour. So he's looking at him like, no, I don't believe you. You have me mistaken. It's not me. And then his boyfriend rolled up and they talking, and he was like, well, you need to straighten this out. He said that, you know, y'all were having sex and all this other stuff. And so he was like, I don't know why you're trying to deny it. Y'all, it was bad. That boy beat that man. I think the man's name was Chris. Beat that man down. I was like, oh my God. It was so bad. Praytail had to shut the whole thing down. He was like, I know y'all ain't fighting up in here again. I know y'all ain't fighting again. Praytail had to set it off. He shut the place down. He was like, I tell y'all can act right. I'm shutting it down. He shut the whole thing down and made everybody get out. I was like, oh my God. Y'all, so anyway. Ms. Norman, which is the woman who Blanca met up with for the storefront, she's actually at her home now and being interviewed by somebody because she's trying to be most influential and all this stuff, and being seen as somebody being able to rise from the ashes after a divorce, and showing that she's just doing all these things, all of the things that she ain't doing. But anyway, her son walks in and she was like, why aren't you need to start wearing a suit. Like he had on a tracksuit, y'all. He looked like a whole mess and a half. But anyway, he was talking about something. I was out doing collections. I was like, why are you speaking like this when there are random people around? Like, I know you opened the door when you came in, you saw somebody that wasn't your mama sitting there too. And they were closer to you than your mama. And so she was like, can you excuse me for a moment? And she had to tell her own son, like, you need to put some other clothes on and don't be walking around here talking about collections like you some mafia boss, somebody that's Italian and all this other stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, like he was doing the most. And since she does cash payments, she's trying to avoid taxes and all that stuff, paper trails. And he literally had a whole stack of money. Like his hand was like this with all the rent that he had been going around collecting from the various places that they have tenants at. So I'm like, dang, she had to tell you that. That don't make no sense. So anyway, let's see what else happened. So while he was talking to her, he was like, yeah, I went over to that newest tenant that you got. You do know that's a man, right? So she was like, what are you talking about? He was like, that's a man. Like, you need to open your eyes. Like that was a man. So she was like, if that's true, then you need to get him out right now. And all this other stuff started going off. I was like, oh Lord. Y'all, they end up showing Blanca. Blanca is in this place painting as we speak. He rolled up on her with some yellow envelope. I don't know if that was her money that he was returning. I'm guessing that's what it was. And he told her she got to get out. And she was just, you know, they had it where we couldn't really hear anything. But we just saw what was going on. And so she was just like mad and going off. And y'all, it was just too much. Y'all, she went home and Praytail was there. You know, eventually, Praytail's there a lot, like I mentioned before. And so she was talking to Praytail about what had been going on with the boys and how they had been having unprotected sex and all that. And so she was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, don't nobody understand what's going on, and how she had been fighting with this woman and how she's been discriminatory against her. And so he, you know, basically gave her encouragement and was like, you can't expect your kids to fight if you're not gonna stand up for what's right and fight yourself. So she thought about it. She was like, that's it. So I don't know if y'all know or not, but she has not disclosed her status to her kids. Only Praytail and the nurse know. I don't even think her family knows. So yeah. So she ended up having dinner that night, and she was like, you know, this is serious. I gotta talk to y'all. And in light of what was going on between Ricky and his boyfriend, arguing at the place, at the ball, about whether he was cheating or not, and she actually found out that they weren't having protected sex anymore. She bust out a condom and a cucumber and had a sex ed class right on the spot at the dinner table. I was just like, oh my gosh, y'all, it was a lot. And eventually she was like, look, I gotta let y'all know that I've been there. When I tell y'all I've been there, I've really been there. I've been through a lot. I didn't love myself at one point in time. I was going out and meeting people. I was trying to find love, and it just wasn't love. I didn't know most of these people's names. I was having unprotected sex, and now I have AIDS. Y'all, when I tell you, everybody was shook at that table. It was bad. I was like, oh my gosh. She almost made me cry. But I was like, no, not gonna do it. So the boyfriends went and got tested. They both are negative, and they are ending up tabling their discussion later on about the guy who he was accused of sleeping with because he has to go to practice, Ricky. So he has to go to rehearsal. So there's a ball that was coming up called the Eros Ball, and that's going to be about celebrating love, celebrating lust, desires, and everything else that is going to accompany such a grand theme. So while he was giving, he meaning Pray Tell, as he was giving encouragement and advice, after he had given what the theme was of the ball, he was like, y'all see what I'm passing out? He had like a fishbowl type of situation going on. It was filled with condoms. And he was like, I understand a lot of y'all out here searching for love, but I understand that you wanted, things are supposed to feel good, but you got to love yourself and you got to protect yourself. You got to be safe. So I was like, you better do that. Do that. So anyway, the category is high fashion in feathers. So as always, it seems like now they've been trying it. It's like they be like, yeah, House of Evangelista is gonna be the one who do the worst, so let's just go and get them out the way. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like they get shaded. And they end up having them, and they had like boas, and they had a group of people to, they had Angel to kind of lead it off, but then they had a group of people to carry Blanca on this chair, and they ended up, having her to come down to the ground, and, she got up, and she kind of twirled, like, whatever dress she had on was gorgeous. It was like sequins or something. Rhinestones, one or the two, I don't know. But anyway, she looked gorgeous. I was like, yes, yes. But anyway, she didn't do that well score-wise, and I was like, yep, I expected nothing less. And you could tell she was bummed, but she went on about her business. So then, Candy was in her feelings. So she literally had just gotten her score, and she didn't even got off the floor yet. Candy just snatched somebody's little makeshift angel wings off of him because she thinking she finna make a statement. Her and Pray Tell stayed getting into it. He was like, girl, if you don't get somewhere with them raggedy wannabe feathers, like he ran her down and made her get off the floor, and ended up booting her whole house, so they couldn't even take any possible place in this. I was like, oh my gosh. She was really, really mad after that. Y'all, the House of Wintour showed up and showed out. Everybody was setting it off. Y'all, they ended up having the woman come out there, the white woman come out there in Vogue, and everybody was here for that, and the other people that were there, the boys. I think I forgot to mention it, y'all. When Elektra made her entrance, and then when she left, when she was letting them know that, she had a new house, these two boys that were with her before, they ended up eventually leaving and going to Blanca's house. But then as soon as they saw what she had going on over there, they jumped ship and tried to go right back over there, and that's what they did. They went right over there. They hopped from house to house, and it's sad. So anyway, it was them and a lot of other people who are a part of the House Wintour. And y'all, they did exceptionally well. Y'all, of course, I'm looking like, okay, where's Elektra? They had this like seashell-like looking situation. And they had this one girl like standing there with like a sledgehammer. And I'm like, girl, what is going on? Yes, where's Elektra? So it made it look like she was beating it open. And then it split open. It fell like that. And behind her was like a seashell. And it's like she kind of rose up and she had like these angel-like makeshift feathers, even though they weren't made of feathers. They looked nice. And they were like, not like this. They weren't like this color, but they were, you know, they were really nice. I can't think of the color. Because there are several names that they go by. Not holograph necessarily. Not holographic, but iridescent. I know I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, iridescent or whatever it is. Y'all can't think of the name. Like there's so many. Pearlescent. And all them other colors. Like it's the same difference. But anyway, y'all, it was everything. And then she pulled some kind of cord and made the feathers like go out. And I was like, yeah. Like it was everything. I was so here for it. And of course they won as usual. It was so sad because Praytell was like, go ahead and get your, we ain't even gonna do no scores. We already know you won. Ain't no reason to do that. And I just don't understand where did she put them? Where did she put all her trophies? That's what I want to know. Goodness gracious. So anyway, Blanca is in her feelings because now because of all this stuff happening, she doesn't really have that much of a shot at Mother of the Year, but Praytell let her know that she probably would be able to snag another category with ease, which is Entrepreneur of the Year. So she, you know, kind of perked up because she really is doing a lot. She out here trying to get her business, and the business is there, even though everything's going on with the woman. The woman is trying her. The woman, Miss Norman, she rolled up on, like, when Blanca made it plain that I ain't going nowhere, she rolled up on Blanca, was like, you're trespassing. And Blanca was like, no, I'm not. I gave you first and last month's rent, and I'm not leaving. And she said she went and saw a lawyer, and they are representing her pro bono. And she basically has squatters' rights, and she has all kinds of rights. And even though they don't have a legally binding contract, they spoke on it and shook on it and all this other stuff. So, you know, since ain't no paper trail, it's your word against mine. And she was just like, well, I have all these lawyers and I have all this. And, you know, she was basically like, I have every single type of lawyer in my back pocket. You ain't gonna win. And she was like, well, I don't care. I will fight to the death. And this would be a worthy enough cause for me to do that for. So I was like, Blanca, you better set it off then. So anyway. But yeah, since she has been doing all the, like, Blanca has been standing up for people in the LGBT and the rest of the letters of the alphabet community. Some terrible as of late, like for real, for real. So she probably is going to win that, if nothing else. So the ball is still going on. The ballroom stuff is still going on. And Ricky is going out with his boyfriend to talk quietly in a quiet place. And basically his boyfriend was like, yeah, I can't be with you anymore. I don't even love myself anymore. Somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I no longer even know who I am. And so he was like, what are you talking about? What am I going to do without you? And so he was looking at him like, look, I don't know what you're going to do or whatever, but you can still go talk to Blanca. You just can't talk to me. I can't give you no advice. Blanca can probably give you some advice. I ain't got to do with that. So they ain't together no more. Old boy and his feelings. And he was like, look, because I already know, despite what you say, you did sleep with that dude, so whatever. He's still like, I ain't do nothing. You a lie. He stays sleeping with somebody. Like, when they first got together, I wasn't here for it. I wasn't here for it because every time you look up, he was screwing people. Every time they went somewhere, everybody knew him because he had screwed them, and they was looking for the next time they was going to screw. And he confused me because I'm like, are you bi? Like, what is going on? I didn't understand. I was very confused. So anyway, Blanca ended up allowing the nurse to come to her house, and she was like, well, you know, I'm glad that you came. She was like, well, you know, it's okay, especially when the invitation includes booze. So they ended up eventually going serious, and, you know, she was letting her know, like, you need to take these pills. I understand your reservations. And so eventually Blanca, she had the pills and she actually took them. So that was the first step in the right direction, hopefully. But yeah, Blanca's salon, which is called Vogue Nails, she got her first customer. And so she was like, oh my gosh, you're my first customer. So the girl was like, do y'all do acrylics here? And so she was like, yeah. She was like, how long or how short do you want? She was like, I want them long. I want them really, really long. She was like, oh, okay. So she ended up taking her. Angel is at the pier taking pictures. Old boy's taking pictures of her, Poppy or whatever his name is. Y'all don't know why I never know his name. but she's taking pictures of him. I mean, he's taking pictures of her. Ricky ended up moving out. Y'all, they were having dinner, and Angel was like, I understand y'all was a couple, but, you know, we loved him too. And so, old boy was like, well, I don't know how much y'all love him once you find out he went to the house of Wintour. And so everybody was like, what you talking about? So then, you know, Blanca was like, you know, whatever, it don't even matter, because Elektra's people, you know, they usually outshine and do better than everybody else, but we were able to come from the bottom and then take stuff from them so we can do it again. And so she was like, look, I'm out here doing all this fighting, and I'm over here fighting AIDS on top of that. So I think that we can come out on top. So I was like, okay, you do that then. Y'all, Elektra moved into some nice house, apartment, or whatever it is. And I mean, it's spacious. All her stuff. She had people to come, like, she's been making so much money. She had people to come in personally, arrange her stuff in alphabetical order while she sat there, all that. I was like, girl, you was doing a lot. I'm talking about nice. And old boy, he's still doing Vogue classes, and Ricky, like I said, Ricky went to the house of Wintour. So anyway, y'all, that was the episode. I loved it. I very much so enjoyed it. I am still excited for this season. Even though Elektra does the most, I live for her. Anyway, y'all, hope y'all enjoyed this. Let me know if you like it down in the comment section. If I left anything out or if I was wrong about something, you can correct me down in the comment section. I don't mind, because we all make mistakes. So anyway, hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.